I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and this is the finals of the 2024 Ukraine Carcassonne Online Cup. It is going to be an exciting couple of hours because we get to witness both the bronze medal match and the finals. First, briefly about this cup and why it's interesting. Well, first of all, any national competitions in Ukraine are interesting because Ukraine has become one of and possibly the most powerful Carcassonne nation, with 12 masters already on their roster, and all of the finalists are masters as well. So first of all, the bronze medal match is going to be between Nazario 77 and Samuelson. Both have acquired their master titles recently, whereas Maxim Bazilyuk and Samuelson have both been on the national team for a long time and have been already masters for a couple of years. So actually there is even a section of Ukraine masters on their website, and you can obviously see, actually Samuelson happens to be the first Ukrainian master. You can see their ratings and peak ratings and when they were achieved. Most notably, look at how many of them achieved their title in 2024. So that shows how quickly the community is growing. Well, anyway, enough of that. The games have probably already started. So Nazario 77 and for some reason, a bit of an Italian-sounding version of the Ukrainian name Nazar. And we are just in time for the start, as it is Samuelson with the red meeples, meepling the first road, Nazario with the first city. Both players are playing quite fast. It is quite characteristic of Ukrainian players. So Nazario with the yellow meeples is threatening the completion of a city, and red, very sneakily, is building a road indirectly so that he not only gets to add a point to his road, but also to create an attacking platform. And that's why Nazario, to protect the valuable city points, instead of meepling the monastery over here, which would be the standard play, kind of like controlling the city of red from both sides, instead red meeple this monastery next to his own city, maybe slightly restricting it temporarily, but at least making it easier to complete in the long run. And look at interesting how Smiley doesn't add a tile to his city, which would normally be the play here. Instead, he's really adamant on creating that connection platform. Nazario was not able to defend, and that's why red managed to successfully connect to the city. That, of course, if yellow does not draw one of the two splitter tiles. In the meantime, yellow's building some roads, got 6 points for a loop and a crossroads, and yellow is the first on the scoreboard. Red still at 0, but the threat of a big city is looming. So quite interesting geometry here, how red managed to sneak in 2 cities here at the same time. Red is continuing his road, and yellow is trying to restrict his city. And now Nazario, interestingly, passes up 2 points for a chance to block Smiley, and of course immediately the player with a hyphenated screen name draws a defense tile and now draws a monastery. So advantage on the scoreboard. Well, not quite the advantage, but equality on the scoreboard for Smiley as this road is completed. Little city for Nazario, 10 points now. Still this sensitive square next to this city. Smiley adds a point to his monastery, at the same time pre-building a 4-point road that goes next to his city. Nazario, not trying to invade the city, but trying to restrict it from the other side. But this is a move that you probably like seeing as red, because now you need the right-handed dagger here and the left-handed dagger here. At the same time, whilst continuing his city at the same time, he wants to create an attacking platform, but yellow got a bit impatient. I think that was a massive misstep here from yellow. It's a move that makes sense, but yellow kind of accidentally continued a road for red, but it is yellow who's ahead on the crossroads because the splitter tile gets yellow a pretty good advantage, and the first farmer and the temporary meeple advantage. So the city was worth 14 points. Now, of course, red is threatening the majority on this city, but because it will take some time to complete, yellow can still use his meeple majority to maybe invade from here or from here. Or, here's the tricky part about this. If red chooses to try and connect to build up the city, let's say red over here, and tries to eat up this poor little yellow guy, then by virtue of doing so with the triangle, it will create a blocking platform from here. Unless, of course, red does what he did now, which is to unify all those meeples with the cow tile. And there's only one chance and one attacking platform from here, so yellow needs to... And actually, yellow is not the... So red needs his city, whereas yellow needs specifically a city plus tiles are not good for yellow. So I'm not sure exactly whose position I prefer. It might be red, because you look at this, red is going to finish a 6-point road. Well, not quite, as Nazario cuts it short, leaving red with just 4 points and collecting 3 points for himself from this crossroads. And now Smiley starts a new road. Nazario's probably going to equalize. Another move that red could have considered was going over here, simply trying to protect this invasion square, or maybe doing so indirectly like this, perhaps. Red chose not to do it because this road is just too juicy up for grabs, so maybe with the next road tile, red will do it. Or, you know, there's some scenarios where you just simply allow yellow to invade, and then you try to block this invasion square, and then you have yourself a big ruin, whereas your opponent is stuck with just 1 point on a 1-point city piece. So all of these are possible scenarios. And now Nazario is really thinking with this curve. Alrighty, hi Vyacheslav, hi Devaka, hi Glavir, hi Sergey. As usual, do let me know how the sound is. I try to take extra care about this, but, you know, better safe than sorry. The second one for Nazario, one that he really wanted. As predicted, yellow, red is trying to defend his city, but you can't really defend the city from the one and only splitter tile that allows yellow to invade. Now quick points for yellow and a 14-point advantage on the scoreboard. Smiley is trying to equalize here. Won't quite get a Dorito tile to turn his city in here, but this is a really good tile. It removes some options from yellow, so yellow has now only 4 good tiles to connect. The 4 remaining Doritos that fit like this. The 3 remaining cow tiles are really not that good, because if you place a cow tile over here, it will allow red to do something like this and reinvade this city. Yellow now thinking whether to meeple this monastery. I would, and I'll tell you why. I think it's being a little bit too conservative. First of all, because you're getting your meeples back, and now yellow, of course, is going to drop a farmer here as well. Oh, no, but he's not completing the city, so he can't drop a farmer. He can't spend his last meeple. Now, the reason why I really like the meeple on the monastery here, why I think it really should have been placed, is because this monastery of yellow would be controlling the monastery of red, as yellow will be building up, as red will be building up his monastery to try and get a meeple back. Yellow would have taken advantage of all these points. And I think it's something that would have been worth the temporary meeple sacrifice, but the desire to not stay meepleless for too long, it's also understandable. With With only 2 curves remaining, actually, yeah, I can see how this could have easily gone south. So yellow being cautious here, you can't blame them for that, especially given that they have a bit of an advantage on the scoreboard, but probably not for long. Because remember, red still has all these gorgeous setups here, and there's still 3 tiles that go here, and red can even have a chance to draw a splitter and get an 8-point city here. Or one of the 2 remaining cow tiles, and to try and develop this city further like this. Vyacheslav is saying horizontal start. It indeed, it is a bit rare actually. I've noticed that vertical starts are a bit more often, but very often in Carcassonne you don't just really get a choice. You just play the best move that you're given with each tile, and depending on what the best move is, it shapes the map horizontally or vertically. Yellow doesn't want to invade red city yet, because red is really threatening, running away with like a 20-point city here if red is not careful, but yellow really needs to keep a meeple. Well, probably now you really want to drop that last meeple here. I mean, the city just getting way too dangerous, and then you just have to bank on getting a meeple back here, or a meeple back here with a couple of city caps. But maybe his idea is something else. Instead, he connects the roads. Not sure if there was any urgency there, but okay. Maybe his idea is simply to allow red to connect over here, and then to try block this square. Alright, so plenty of options still for yellow. A yellow could probably take 2 points, which I don't really recommend, leaving the city cap open. But I think also what could yellow do is simply just go here and try to YOLO it with this city. Because there are only 14 tiles remaining, and there's only so many city caps. And the idea for this move is the fact that this would be unblockable. It would be possible to restrict, let's say, with a curve, but there are still 2 of these guys remaining, 2 of daggers, 2 of daggers of each kind, actually. And so then it will still be a good chance for Nazario to get this meeple back and some 8 points. Yeah, so this tile over here is really, really problematic for yellow. And this is exactly what he does. And Smiley should probably block. He just needs to count tiles and figure out which way of blocking is more productive. It probably still is the more traditional one, pointing it inwards, because there are 2 vanillas plus the 1 splitter still remaining. So if you turn the curve like this, there are 3 tiles that fit here. If you turn the curve inwards, there are 2 tiles that left here. And probably what he should also do is do the same move and drop a farmer. Same move, but with a farmer. Yeah, exactly. So he chose to restrict the other way, even though it allows 3 tiles for red to complete the city. There's actually a lot of merit in doing it like this. Anyway, the main merit of that lies in further blocking possibilities. So you see, when you have, well, actually, I'm not really sure about that. Yeah, I'm not really sure about why it was this particular block. So maybe red knows something that I don't. Yeah, so the good thing about this move, right, is that if red achieves his desired outcome and gets all the tiles that fit here, or somehow blocks this square, then red can actually get the meeple into the field regardless, just not through this route, but through this route, and with 3 points of extra value. Nazario, in the meantime, frees a monastery, and this game's getting really close. It's a 4-point game. Both parties have a precariously placed 3-point city, but they're threats of development and completion. So technically red could draw a tile here that gives him a boatload of points, and red could also draw another one of those, well, not anymore, because Nazario drew the penultimate triple city tile, so now there's only one of those remaining, so you can't fill this and this square. But as red, you can still fill this square and at least add 5 more points to your city. Now probably we expect to move over here, which would make any further blocking attack on this city a little bit more difficult. But I'm sure that yellow's considering other options. Maybe yellow's considering going over here, trying to break red's city. I don't think it's something that's worth doing given the large number of city caps still remaining in the deck. Well, Smiley now... this is not the best tile for Smiley, actually. He has to do this, but then but now his city is way, way harder to complete. So this move actually pays off. But it also makes it harder for red to connect to the field. If I'm not mistaken, there's just one tile that does this. Or are there 2 tiles? I know there's only one straight line, and I believe there are no starting tiles left. So actually, I believe that not draw this tile that gives him 3 points for the road and an equalization of a 9-point field, then it would be yellow with the advantage and most likely the win. However, if red does draw this tile, then I don't really see yellow coming back from this. So the whole game might just come down to who gets the straight line. Let's do a recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so there is indeed 1 and 1 only remaining. One minute and 20 seconds on Nazar's clock. This gives red the opportunity to exert time pressure. I'm pretty sure Smile Hyphen is thinking and counting tiles whilst yellow is thinking. This is really what you want to do as the player with the red meeples here. And actually, this is a really good tile for Nazario, even though it doesn't really do anything special for him. It's important that it is a tile that red needed over here. Because with that tile, if red were to place it here, red can actually still threaten the completion of this city. Yeah, I really like this move. Look at this. It's so nasty. Red cannot actually add the city cap to his city anymore. Instead, he just chooses to create some volatility and develop his field. In the event it does not become shared, and you can see now how red picks off the 4 points here. Now Smiley picks up these 4 points, but there was definitely something to be told for taking off these 4 points instead, because Nazario now, well, first of all, fantastic draw for him. Yeah, of course he's going to take this 6-point field himself and threaten re-invasion in case the invasion of red is successful. So maybe a move like this, taking the 4-point road and simply trying to withstand the block of the square, was a possibility for Smile E. Smile Hyphen, excuse me. Oh yeah, we can see that there was actually still a chance for red to connect to the field. But now it won't be possible, as it is Nazar who draws the last straight line. I haven't quite worked out what the last tile is. I believe it is some sort of dagger. I know for sure it is some sort of dagger. So Smiley's move here makes really good sense, and his idea is, of course, to have a 6-point field. And that way he can make sure that he's making some points in case yellow gets lucky and draws the tile that red needed for connection. Alrighty, so let's see who won. I believe it should be yellow, but a very, very narrow margin. It might be... No, it's not that narrow, right? We kind of forgot. Oh yeah, that 9-point field was actually a 12-point field, so... So that straight line was really, really important for red. 6-point difference. I would say like overall probably the deck favored Nazario a little bit more, but it is not without some key moves that yellow managed to secure his victory. You know, getting first on the farm, then drawing the spirit to attack the city. Alrighty, so congratulations to Nazar. I need to remind you that all the matches are best of 3, so Smiley is going to have one more chance to equalize this and another more chance to win the whole thing outright, maybe. Alright, let's not forget updating the score. The second match has not been created. But we're gonna see it in due course. I'm not sure if the players... okay, so they're saying that they are ready. All right, they are indicating they're about to start any second now. And this is exactly what happens. This time it is Nazar with the starting player advantage. Me playing a road for 2 points. Smile Hyphen with the first monastery promptly places a meeple on it to control a city cap. Nazar occupies a city and red immediately tries to equalize it, but it is yellow who's first on the scoreboard with 3 points and an open city cap. 2 points for a Smile Hyphen's road, but 4 more points for Nazario's city. Slight advantage for the player with the yellow meeples on the scoreboard, but overall an equal situation because this monastery's placement is just fantastic. It is already given 5 points. It will give a 6th point once Smile E connects these 2 cities. Of course, now Nazario can go over here and try to take over, which I believe is absolutely worth doing. It's really, really nice to put some pressure. And I'll tell you why. Even if you're not successful, what this type of move does, it can induce red into spending a good tile to simply eliminate this threat. So for example, imagine if this guy wasn't here, and if red were to draw a shielded Dorito. As red, I wouldn't play it here. I would probably like start a new city here maybe. But now red can't really afford to do that. And look at this. With a shielded Dorito, red is forced, instead of to building his own city, just to secure the shared city. So even though this invasion is unsuccessful, it actually did end up, well, essentially winning 2 extra points for yellow, or rather saving extra 2 points of damage for yellow. So it's always good to create threats in Carcassonne, and yellow's ahead on the scoreboard anyway, but not, well, technically still, I was going to say not anymore, because this monastery is just huge. a third monastery spot over here. Nazario can't really block, can't really go over here because this would open a blocking platform against this city and open an invasion platform against the big city. Probably gonna have to go here and spend a meeple on equalizing this little red guy. Yeah, the situation's not great. So what Nazar needs to draw pretty often is to draw a curve and place it over here to try and block or at the very least delay the development of these monasteries. Like, as yellow, if red completes these monasteries, yeah, we can still live with it. And honestly, like, as yellow, we're actually happy to see that. But what we cannot absolutely live with is a third monastery over here. So despite the scoreboard disadvantage, this should be a bit of a relief for yellow. Okay, I'm a bit critical of this move from yellow. It kind of comes from like not knowing what to do, but essentially investing a city cap into a shared city, whilst it should have been a new city really. So so far the first and only misstep of this game so far. I'm playing really conservative for a player with 5 meeples. But the game is still young. So Nazar with the road tile. Not a real good place for a new road, but actually I disagree. I think a really good move would have been to just go over here, start a new road, and like this square is not as dangerous as it seems it is, because what this move would do, it will also create some pressure against Red's monastery. So I really don't like discarding tiles when I have 5 meeples in hand. Now this move by Smile Hyphen is really nasty. It's essentially trying to block 2 meeples at the same time. If red gets one of the 4 remaining triple city tiles, red will place it over here. And then this square will be blocked. And consequently, this meeple will block too because it will be tied to the big ruin. The good news for Nazario is that there are only 4 tiles that left to fit here. So I think the best way to deal with this threat is to just ignore it. And if red does happen to draw one of the tiles that are bad for us, well, tough luck for us. Yeah, and this is kind of what he does. So instead he decides that this city is going to be valuable even as a ruin, and he's just going to let it slide. Nazar, with a straight line again, well, surely now you gotta start that road. I mean, there's still plenty of road ends remaining in the deck, and this is exactly what happens. Maybe he was a bit concerned about the safety of that other road, which is sort of kind of understandable. Red starts a new monastery, also slightly protect the square. Not a lot of great options for yellow, but one move which I really like is yellow is actually going over here and meepling that road. And that would be a bit of a twisted variation on the Ukrainian technique, which is when you take a city piece and place it in such a way that controls both of your opponent's monasteries. He could have done the same thing with the road. This move, I'm actually not that big of a fan because it makes it easier for Nazar to lose 2 meeples. Well, easier by 1 tile. So the idea was that... Actually, no, it was roughly the same. That's an interesting move. But the danger, of course, was that instead of this, red could have drawn a Dorito tile and connected these 2 ruins together. Yeah, now yellow is debating whether to meeple this, and he decides to meeple this field. It could go either way. I really like the field meeple here, actually, simply because there are just not many places to spend a meeple productively, only 3 monasteries remaining, and no really juicy monastery spots on the board. And now a bit of karmic retribution from red. If you remember from last game, Nazario managed to equalize a big juicy city using a splitter. This time it says Smile Hyphen's turn to draw a splitter and a 2-tile sequence that gets to freeload of all this hard building work that had been undertaken by the zealous yellow meeple here. But Nazario still gets some consolation as this meeple was trying to take over the whole big city. At least it will threaten a little 8-point city like this. There are still tiles that do that. Yeah, and you see, that was the issue with the movie I was telling you, because, like, imagine if a yellow meeple was here. Now it would have been much harder for red to finish this road, and red is just being really, really annoying to yellow, you know, meepling a new road and threatening all kinds of things over here. Nazario now probably has to block. So red is meepling a new monastery. Suddenly red's position is getting really dangerous. There's 2 more monasteries in the deck and a really good spot there. Nice block from yellow, though it is a block because there are no tiles that fit into that square anymore. These tiles are already on the board here, here, and here. However, 5 quick points for Nazario to keep his chances in this game alive. And more important than 5 quick points, what this move does, it opens up an attacking platform against the shared city. And that's volatility, that's variance. That's exactly what we want as the side who is behind, which is yellow, both on the scoreboard and on the position. Yellow's trying to develop his field. Oh wait, the quick points went to Smile E. Yeah, I somehow missed that. So this is really not that great for yellow at all. Quite a big swing. Yellow is trying to block red's monasteries. Red, in the meantime, simply eliminates the threat of somebody taking over the city. That's quite wise to do when you are ahead. It's still possible to reinvade the city with a city cap plus triangle plus a triple city combo, but of course way less likely than a simple city cap plus triangle combo. Hi, Nicholas. We are in the second game in our best of 3. And it looks like that we are likely to need a third game here. Because as Nazario, I find it quite difficult to find a path back into this game with 23 tiles remaining only and 3 meeples in your opponent's hand. This move is really nice. It not only gives yellow 3 points, but it also sets up another 3-point road, which only yellow can use. The reason only yellow can use it is because red already needs a curve over here. Red with a scoring tile that he can't use. That's interesting. So nowhere where he can get a 2-point road. Instead just adds a point to his monastery. Some other possible option was actually going over here and trying to break Yellow City. But this is not the type of move that you want to make when you're ahead. You normally want to make the type of move when you're in a more of an equalish position. Yeah, actually, also this is not a move that you want to make when you're behind either. You don't want to spend a tile on adding points to your opponent. Well, you know what? The more I think about this, maybe it was worth doing it, just because the upside is so great, and it wouldn't be possible for yellow to block red's monasteries without blocking his own city. Well, it would be actually, but it would be harder, and it would require a much better tile, such as a curve. Yeah, so now he does this. Maybe he just wanted to wait for less valuable tile. So you see, with a shieldless cow, he does this, and he just didn't want to do it with a shielded horse. Smiley starting a new city at the same time, making it harder for Nazario to finish this little. I'm not sure how I would call it. I would probably like, I mean, in Russian, I would use the word akurok, which means cigarette butt. It's like, it's just, I guess, like a piece of scrap paper, maybe. That's the association that comes to me in English. You know, like sometimes it's possible to finish cities like these, and I believe there might be still tiles to do that. Actually, no, there is no tile sequence that allows to finish this city. Normally, like a Dorito plus Dorito would work, but there's only one Dorito with a road remaining. Yeah, so very wise board recognition on the part of Smile Hyphen here. In the meantime, yellow successfully blocks red's monasteries. Red, however, is unperturbed. Red still has 2 meeples, and red just got yellow to spend a valuable city cap. Luckily for yellow, he just drew another one. Super important city cap and super important 8 points. The question is, do you meeple this farm? And the answer is maybe. Yeah, you probably do. Because it's not like there's going to be a lot of good things to meeple, and that's why... but maybe that was the idea. Yellow wanted to lure red in, so now that yellow meeples this farm to try to equalize here, red meeples this farm, trying to equalize like this, then possibly yellow could go here, equalizing this farm, trying to equalize it like this, or like this. The only problem with that is that it would put yellow's road in danger, but with no road monasteries in play, I don't really think that the fate of this road matters that much, especially with 11 points, 11 tiles remaining only. So instead, red goes for the block, yellow goes for the block, but you see, red now very wisely goes over here, and he now makes sure that he has 2 field connection options, and this means that yellow can't really continue his road. Yeah, so we can see that yellow is continuing his block, which works, which totally works for now, but there's still a monastery that fits here. Oh no, there isn't. And is there a city cap? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there is nothing that fits here. So that's an absolutely lovely block. The only way red can connect is through here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 1 tile remaining to connect through here. And even that would add a road to yellow. In the meantime, yellow accomplishes an important objective, finishing a shared city and dropping another farmer. So what this does, it also adds an extra farmer to this field. And now quite a big farming advantage for Nazario. Still probably won't be enough to win this game, just because of wait a second, it might be enough. So red is now meepling a 6-point road, but again, if red doesn't draw the road tile that goes here, then red is not connecting the farmer here or here. Still worth to meeple the 6-point road, of course. But this move, 4 points extra on the scoreboard for Nazario and 3 points extra for this farmer, actually gave him some fighting chances. Only -4 on the scoreboard. And Nazar draws the all-important city cap that would have given Smile Hyphen an 8-point city. Not sure if there are many of those remaining or any at all. Well, actually, there is. There's a splitter still. A regular splitter. So 1 tile and 1 tile only for red to complete this city and probably ensure this victory. I don't think yellow can withstand 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No crossroads to fit here. How about starting tiles? 1, 2, 3, 4. No starting tiles. So it's really just the straight line that would go here and continue red's road and also connect the 2 farmers. So we will be coin flipping for this, but we're also flipping for the tile that goes here, which I believe is enough for Smile Hyphen to secure the victory here. Even though the fields of Nazario are formidable, they're almost compensated by these 2 monasteries over here. Yes, Nicholas, 1-1 is likely upcoming. Well, still a 16% chance, of course, of Nazario drawing both the power tiles, both the critical tiles. The problem with that is that the second power tile is not all that powerful. The second power tile actually just gives him like 1 point or something, or a couple of points, because it's just a straight line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm not hallucinating. 1 straight line remaining. So if you're, like, as yellow, if you're banking for this exact tile, I think the move that you make, okay, that also works, but there was something slightly stronger, I think, and that was going here. No, not necessarily. I really like this. I really like this farming approach as well. I was just trying to look for a way to use the meeples more efficiently. Yeah, and I believe now that Nazario drew this tile, he can't win. So the idea, the remaining tiles in the deck are both critical. One is the straight line that helps red connect to the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, again, not hallucinating. And the other one is the splitter that helps him finish this city. So, well, he did guess correctly. It is Smiley who draws the splitter. But he's still going to be smiling after this one, because yellow still had to spend all these resources on trying to block, and red managed to develop a 6-point ruin, which is more than enough to secure the victory. And here's the problem with these sort of coin flips. You can see, okay, like, you get your opponent's tile, but you can't use it lucratively yourself. So we're going to see a 3-point move from yellow. It will be a 3-point field or a 3-point road. Depends purely on aesthetics. But because of wait, why is Smile E lamenting his fates? I don't believe he's losing. Are the fields really that big? 9, 12, 21, 24 points for the field extra is what Nazario is having. But red has so much more stuff. The road, the city, the monasteries. No, red is winning. Red is winning. Well, yeah, that's why Nazario is saying, like, but it didn't help me. And oh yeah, and what's Smile Hyphen saying here, that the second game in a row he didn't get the stick. The stick is slang for a straight line. Yeah, I really like actually this word. And Smile Hyphen's responding that it did help Nazar in the first game. Nicholas is asking, should he have meepled the straight when making the block of a field attack? I think it's maybe a little bit too... Well, actually, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a little bit desperate meepling this, because there's still other possible... Because, like, you see, if you meeple this road as as yellow. Remember, this tile wasn't here yet. So if you're meepling this road, you're banking not only for drawing the straight line or completing the block somehow, but you're also banking on drawing this tile over here. And I'm not sure if yellow was that far behind to start hoping for this kind of stuff. Maybe. But I probably wouldn't go there just yet. And at that time, there weren't really any road ends available. So leaving this road empty is not such a big of a deal, because it is 6 points. Yes, it's nice, but it does require an investment of a meeple. And okay, 6 points is maybe slightly above the value that you can normally get for a meeple on this board, which is surprisingly dry. Actually, you can't really get more than 3 or 4. But I think still Nazar's approach in just keeping the meeple was okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Sergey. Yeah, understanding is much easier than speaking. I don't think I'd be able to say many things other than розумію або не розмовляю, which means I understand but I don't really speak. But yeah, that certainly would be quite a useful language to know in the Carcassonne world. Alrighty, we do have the decider. So both players are playing pretty fast, roughly equal position, with small hyphen with a slight advantage. I'm going to update the score a little bit. But the good thing about their speed of playing is that we're probably going to finish before 1900 UTC, which is when the final starts. Although, yeah, actually, Zaharik, would be nice if you could, like, in case if we finish, if we could just ask the players to delay a couple of minutes and start after the bronze medal match has finished. Unless, of course, they have other commitments in the evening. Oh, you were talking about meepling the farmer. Yeah. I was thinking of that, but well, yeah, here's the thing. I think actually, so here's the thing. Meepling the road was kind of like too risky, but meepling the farmer is like being too conservative. So I think yellow did what he had to do. Kind of not really trying to secure the farm for sure, but trying to preserve the meeple and simply outdraw yellow and outdraw red. Alrighty, but in this game, so here's what we're getting. We're getting Nazario's advantage on the scoreboard as he finishes an 8-point city. Red in return has a 5-point monastery and a pretty decent and really menacing city. Like, it's way more menacing than you might think. So it is maybe ever so slightly dangerous because there are 2 tiles in the deck, the 2 starting tiles that yellow can draw in order to block it completely. But barring that, this sort of configuration is pretty safe. And if red draws a Dorito, red maybe draws over here, just need to dodge 1 attacking attempt against this city from here, and then red's going to be good. Red also has some other threats going on. This city is also not that bad with a shielded tile in the middle. This tile is kind of awkward. I would say really awkward next to his monastery. So that definitely makes this monastery spot way, way, way less valuable than it would have been with a regular curve. Because, so let's say if red does successfully draw a second monastery, then yellow will immediately get a straight line and put a lot of pressure on the square, maybe even blocking 2 of red's monasteries. Red, however, has a good road, and now managed to successfully defending it from a block, which was has been started by Nazar with this sequence. Another move that I really want to see from Nazar soon enough would be going over here and over here, kind of getting 4 points for a road and then building with tempo, and then creating an attacking platform against this city with tempo. Yeah, so you see, this is exactly the kind of stuff that I was talking about. So Smile Hyphen here, because of this dangerous configuration, sort of like chickened out on meepling the second monastery. I would have meepled anyway, but like you can't blame him here because it was kind of dangerous indeed. But he meeples the farm instead. But just because of that one city piece, he'll probably lose 9 points as a result. Because as you see, this monastery turned out to be pretty safe. Yeah, and also, one of the reasons why I would really prefer to have this meeple anyway is because red's meeples are threatened in several places. Here, here, and here. And yellow doesn't have enough time to block all of them. And now that this meeple is secure, then yellow can focus his effort on blocking like this or this. Well, actually, this would be super urgent, because with a single city tile, yellow can secure his city red can secure his city completely. But red can't do anything about this. So red wants to draw any city plus road tile in which it goes over here and creates an unfillable sequence of 2 squares over here. But the truth is, the chances of red defending here are way, way higher than yellow successfully blocking. So we're talking like at least, it will be an estimate, but I say like it's sort of like a 70% chance of a red finishing the city maybe. And that include not just defense, but also drawing the right tile sequences. Maybe like 70s, upper 60s. So a really dangerous situation. Yeah, that's why Nazar is here in the tank. I guess you kind of want to go here to create an attacking platform. On the other hand, there's sort of kind of an attacking platform here. And with that move, Smile Hyphen has successfully secured this city. And this might as well be the decisive sequence of tiles in this game. Because the chances of him finishing this city, I believe... so it's a bit hard to calculate, but I would estimate like around 80-ish%. At least, probably more. The reason why it's so high is because there are multiple possible sequences. So there's this tile. Ah, look at this. Nazario is thinking of meepling the 6-point field, which I might have done, actually. I think it might have been worth doing. Yeah, because here's what's going to happen. Nazario is going to keep this road. He's going to start a new one over here. And now, he's the only one who can meeple the 6-point field in the center. Even though it's closed, Nazario has just so many meeples that I think it was worth the investment. Because the fields on this board are really not that big. They're also separated, so there's going to be a smallish field over here. This field over here is going to... Okay, this one's going to grow a little bit more. But still, like... Nazar has enough of a meeple advantage to try and fight for the field here. Also, because red is so likely to finish the city, that's a point that we're going to still touch on further. I feel that yellow just needs to squeeze every single point out of the situation. And the main route how yellow is going to try to win this game is just by trying to get good compensation. So yeah, so the reason why the chances are so high is that there are multiple possible sequences. One is city cap plus city cap, and there's 4 of those, so that's like 11 out of 16 chance to draw that sequence. So for example, if red draws a city cap, red should place a city cap here, because that will leave 3 more city caps in the deck, and like an 87-88% chance to finish this city. And the other sequence is Dorito plus Dorito. There's 4 Dorito left plus a splitter. So red would need to draw 2 out of 5, and this is like 70-something%. So that's also really high, and because there are these 2 sequences, it's really likely. But ideally, of course, you want to finish the city with a city cap plus city cap. You have to go there now. Yeah, exactly. So now 3 city caps remaining and an 88% chance of finishing that city. This has been locked. The reason why you want to do that and not wait for the Doritos, even though technically there are more Doritos, well, first of all, once you draw the city cap, once you draw this one, you know that there are 3 remaining, and to draw 1 in 3 city caps, it's an like 88% chance. Whereas to draw 2 out of 5 Doritos, it is like a 70-something% chance, so a little bit less. The second reason why this move is good is because red already needs the Doritos over here, so you really want to try and build your other city like this and create further threats. And final reason is, before this move, there was actually one more chance that red had. Okay, well, we see a farmer, yeah. So from red, it makes sense to stay conservative with the meeples, because red is a meeple minority. But I think maybe a slight missed opportunity here for yellow to be a little bit greedy. Yellow, by the way, starting a really nice city over here, really creative. It's still possible for it to get finished. And I think the main idea is that it does delay red's road by quite a lot. So certainly you have to be creative in order to come back. So for example, now as Nazario, you want to go, well, you could finish a row, but I don't think we don't need the meeple, right? So I think it's best, to go here and meeple this road, trying to get another 5-point road, thwarting the city, then kind of preparing the invasion later. Because what this did now, instead of you just adding 2 cities to your ruin, which is really not that valuable, because like if you wanted 2 points, just take the 2 points elsewhere, or just take the 3 points here. Also, like red is capitalizing on this 4-point road, which could have belonged to a yellow. Yeah, it feels to me like that just yellow does not fully recognize the severity of the situation just yet. Yeah, and also the problem is like once the threat of this city. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The point is that yellow is in big trouble and just needs to play way more boldly than normally one would expect in this situation. Oh yeah, and just to finish up about this, before that move, it was possible for yellow to draw a splitter tile and try to connect to the city like this. Of course, super unlikely, but still possible. So that's why this threat was also needed to be eliminated. Smile Hyphen brutally expanding his field on his way what looks like to be his first bronze medal on a National Online Cup. Really difficult situation for Nazario. However, with some lucky draws, he can still do it. First of all, fantastic move here by yellow. The purpose of this move is not just to take 2 points. It is to go over here and try and destroy this meeple. So creates a platform for blocking the meeple. Really nice multi-purpose move. Yeah, and I think if drawing all 3 city caps, we could absolutely win as yellow here. So now, of course, needs to go over here to clean off a city cap, then try to draw the 3 other city caps and just bank on that 12% chance. This is a weird-looking move by yellow, but it's actually fantastic. So first of all, it saves the road, because the road was easily blockable in one move. Second, it drops a farmer where yellow could have dropped a farmer. And third, it sets up a huge threat with 2 road monasteries. So by drawing, Smiley, surely you'd drop a farmer there. I think playing a bit unnecessarily conservative. Yeah, you want to drop a farmer in these situations, like kind of just to not allow yellow to drop a farmer there, unless there aren't any city caps that fit there, which might be the case, which is the case, which means that, man, yellow is really quick at tile counting. Yeah, look at this. So all starting tiles are gone, all barbed wire tiles are gone, and all dagger tiles are gone. So there are, in fact, no city caps that fit here. That is very quick recognition. Now, should he have dropped a farmer there regardless? I think yes. First of all, because there's a possibility of him drawing a tile like this, a Dorito with a road, and then a city cap, and then this becomes a 6-point field. And second, because there's another nasty possibility that we want to avoid as red. Yellow goes here, takes 3 points for a road. Then yellow draws a Dorito tile, and regardless whether he successfully finishes the city, he drops a farmer, and then meeples the monastery for 8 points, connecting his farmer to the field. So certainly farming here would have been more defensive for Smile Hyphen. Nazar with a city cap, well, 1 out of 3 that he really needs. Yeah, makes sense for him to start dropping farmers left and right. And this move I really like, because there's a road monastery that can be used to connect all the fields, and Nazar draws the second city cap, which is not something that you like to see as Smile Hyphen or any of his fans. But actually, he has a path to victory even if Nazar draws all the 3 tiles. This is why I wanted to get back to this move, why it was so brilliant. Because on the off chance that yellow draws all remaining city caps, which is really headed that way, only 1 to go, red has a super lucrative setup here for 6 monastery, 1 for the road, 3 for the field, for just a boatload of points, but it won't be necessary because red draws the final city cap, finishes a 20-point city, meeples a 6-point farm, and takes a plus 31 lead on the scoreboard, has a lead on the field, and will likely progress to a victory in style. Nazar still has to fight. For example, now, a move that you have to play is going over here and dropping a farmer, hoping for one of the last 2 remaining Doritos with a road, so that you get to complete your road and take over the farm from red. Even though it's only 6 points, 6 points is, well, just anything that you can get at this point is useful. Come on, Nazar, fight until the end. Yeah, there we go. And we're going to see a farmer here for sure. He's debating a little bit. But no need to be afraid. Still 2 tiles that are left there. Farm, farm, farm. Farm, 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 farm. No fear. He's thinking about it. Yeah, so for some reason he decides to keep his 2 important meeples, which are important for something. I don't know what exactly. Maybe he has some master plan to take over the main field. But what Red has done very nicely is that there isn't really a main field. Well, there is technically, it's worth 9 points, but it's only 3 points more than this field, only 3 points more than this field. Once this decisive feature has been completed, there are really no point scoring opportunities for the player with the yellow meeples. And with a second monastery drawn by Smile Hyphen, we should probably go over here for 8 points. It is getting closer to plus 50 territory. Because remember, there's this ruin that is worth 9 points. And this monastery over here. And still a meeple in hand. Smile Hyphen trying to calculate his best possible endgame. Wants to not only win but also always make the best move. It's a mindset I can absolutely get behind. He could theoretically still lose on time. Typically not a concern with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining on the clock. But it is possible to accidentally become forgetful. So, a tiny piece of hope for Nazario fans. And instead he goes for modest 2 points. Maybe he calculated, I know actually why, maybe he calculated that this opens up too much. Like if he meeples an 8-point monastery, then maybe, yeah, then maybe Nazario can like get a straight line and connect to the field like this. But like Nazario needs, yeah. I like, it kind of doesn't really matter that much because no matter what you do, you win here as Red. Probably the quickest win is actually just going over here and that's it. I'm not sure if there even are city caps remaining. I do believe there is one. No, there's no daggers. Yeah, what is there? Oh, that one. Okay. But that's interesting. Let's see how Smile Hyphen's counting tiles. I believe you actually don't even need to go and invade because this is the last city cap. And you can just go over here and safely leave the city cap open next to your monastery. Instead, he decides to invade the ruin. I presume this means there is sufficient number of Doritos. Well, of course, there's one road Dorito that goes over here, still remaining. How about field Doritos? Still one of those. So a reasonable chance. Nazar with a curve. And not that much to do. Could try an invasion of on the smaller field. Like some stuff going over here would have been nice. Okay, so now he's trying to invade a 6-point field. But this brings me to my point earlier. So now he's kind of like trying to invade a 6-point field, whereas he could have simply taken a 6-point field earlier over here when finishing the city with one move. When he had such a boatload of meeples, and what turned out is that he actually never found an opportunity to score more than 6 points with the majority of meeples that he had. But it was something that's like really not easy to recognize, and would have maybe given him like an extra 0.5 percentage point in his winning chances. Smile hyphen still trying to be precise. The remaining tiles are a Dorito with a road and something else. Oh, actually, yeah, 2 Doritos. Dorito with a road and regular Dorito. So again, Smile hyphen doesn't need to bother blocking the square because nothing can connect. So he can simply, actually he has to, maybe like go over here, take a 3-point farm, or go over here, take a 3-point road. So he has to spend the meeple now, because he won't be able to spend the meeple on his last turn, because for sure he's drawing one of the Doritos, and the main value of that move would, of course, would be equalizing that ruin. And this is exactly what happened. He recognizing it, and Nazario does connect, or does finish the road, so a farmer here would have been nice. And Smile hyphen, just to rub it in, shows off his endgame skills and connects to Nazario's ruin, saying thank you for the games. And we say to both players thanks for the games as well. And congratulations to Eugene Smile hyphen for the comeback and his first, and probably not last, bronze medal in the Ukrainian Online Carcassonne Cup. Alrighty, let's update the score, but it's already 13 minutes past 1900, so we will be jumping straight into our finals. Maxim Bazilyuk versus Anatoly Samuelson. Well, that's interesting. So Smile hyphen saying that in the Astani's last or previous in the last or previous game, there were several moves where Nazario didn't have like a good place to play the file, but other than that, it was pure luck. But actually, no, I disagree. I mean, Smile hyphen's being really modest. I think this win was actually like overall well deserved. So obviously, both players very high level. I would say Smile hyphen just slightly with a bit more vision and more precision. Already, the final it is. Now Maxim Bazilyuk, who is currently the higher rated of the two players, and I think has a higher peak rating as well, and has already played in person at the World Championships representing Ukraine. Samuelson happens to be the first ever Ukrainian Carcassonne master, getting his title as early as 2020. When, you know, getting past 700 was like way bigger deal. But now, honestly, I'm trying to think if maybe, look, lately I've been thinking, is 700 the new 500? And well, on some level, yes, on some level, no. Like on some level, no, because it still like requires a lot of skill. It's just like the number of players who have that kind of skill have already grown significantly. But let's try to explore this game and see what's happening. So Maxim with 5 green meeples in his hand and now 13 points on his scoreboard, which is 9 more than what his opponent has. So a slight advantage for Bazilyuk. However, Anatoly has this one proud 3-point road meeple, brightly red, so that we can see it very, very well. Also, maybe I'm going to change the colors for this one. Make it yellow, so that it's really different from the colors of the meeples of both the opponents. And we can see an annoying blocking attempt against one of 2 Bazilyuk City meeple. The other one successfully recuperates itself and brings 4 points to Bazilyuk's scoreboard. And finally, 4 more road points for Samuelson and starting a new city. Bazilyuk immediately tries to break it. And I actually really like this move without meeple. So normally you would just equalize it, but it is annoying enough as it is. So now Anatoly will have to build either a big ruin or wait for a splitter and try to finish this city. But if that happens, then green should always still have time to try and block or reconnect from one of the 2 sides. Green has a bit of a problem here because there's only 1 tile remaining that fits here. And so already 50-50 chance only. And this creates further problems down the line. So look what happened now. With this crossroad tile, normally what Bazilyuk would have done, he would have gone over here and meepled the highest scoring road, the 3-point road, trying to make a 6-point loop like this. But this is not possible because this would have created a blocking platform against this little guy. So he was forced to take a lower scoring move, which is a 2-point road move, but really it is a 1-point move because he's also developing Red's Monastery and really actually improving Red's Monastery by more than he would have liked. So even if green manages to draw the 1 remaining dagger tile that fits here, this block move has already yielded results. Now Bazilyuk decides to invade the city. So this actually is quite nice. I think as Bazilyuk I might have waited even more. I probably would have preferred a quick point move here. The reason I would have really liked this move first is because it would be preventing Red from developing the monastery efficiently. So Red could have drawn like road crossroads for 2 points and maybe another monastery. Now this is something that's no longer possible. In the meantime, we see Red breaking Green City. Green still trying to save it. Still possible to complete with maybe like Dorito, Triple City, Extender, and another Dorito, or a variety of other options. A tile that Bazilyuk would really like is something like this. Meepling another city piece for insurance so that he can just safely build it from here. And maybe if it somehow gets attacked from here, he can suddenly connect. This, of course, is a bit wishful thinking. There are only 2 of those tiles remaining in the deck, so it will be a while before Bazilyuk draws one. If he draws one, in the meantime, some powerful monasteries here for Samuelson as he gets a 3rd one. Bazilyuk's trying hard to block one of the monasteries, and in the process, at least, he equalizes what was Red's farm with a lot of prospects in a timely fashion. And now he draws a dagger, not the one that he needs here, but the one that red would need here. And he decides not to meeple the city cap, but instead start a new one with the idea of finishing the city cap and dropping a farmer. Red uses this opportunity to start a new city, but immediately, green makes the only correct move, of course, eliminating what is the greatest threat in Carcassonne. Red was about to finish the city and drop a farmer. Now it is not possible. And this extra move comes with a perk. It's trying to permanently block this square over here, and Anatoly does not draw a defense. Bazilyuk does not block. Instead, he decides to drop a farmer himself first. It's something that I would have really thought about for a bit longer, maybe. Still, the prioritization might be worth it. Not sure the development of this city is the best possible. Actually, you know what? I think it was stronger to go here. But another possibility was going here, trying to break this city. It's very interesting. Like, I'm not exactly sure what was best. I'm really surprised how quickly green is making some pivotal decisions. As Samuelson is building up his monasteries, preparing to get this meeple back, it's now very hard to block. Green would need to draw a crossroad in order to do any tangible damage. Bazilyuk draws a splitter tile and kind of goes all out on the farm, which I really like. He wants to create more cities because he recognized that Samuelson has a lot of good monasteries. So he wants to have points. Yeah, so he now switches strategy and tries to build that city. But this is why, for stuff like this, I would have preferred this tile being here. Then the city would have already been nicely covered up. Now it will be a little bit harder to finish, as there is still a tile that fits into that square, but it will be a while before Bazilyuk draws it, and even if he draws it, Samuelson will have one more chance to connect over here. And note that the triple cities with a road, which normally would have fit here, are non-existent. Both players exchange quick points, making this field really valuable. Well, technically it's all not the same field, and yeah, I am shocked at this move by Samuelson. That's the thing. As Samuelson, actually what you really want to do, well, it's not like a bad move necessarily, but there's a reason why I don't like it. The reason why I don't like it is because it allows precisely this kind of thing like this. Sort of, normally, green can't go over here without creating a blocking platform. But now that you go over here, he can go over here with an indirect defense. And now the threat has become much more severe. Because normally, if a green wins the coin flip for this tile, as red, you still sort of have a shot for reconnecting. But now you don't. If green gets this tile, it's GG instantly. There will be no coming back from a city of this size. But in a timely fashion, just as Bazilyuk was about to finish his monastery with 4 extra points for the city and endless potential of developing the farm, red draws a monastery to block it. It's a Sophie's Choice block. So the Sophie's Choice will be between this meeple and this meeple. The same type of tile is needed in 2 spots by green. And just as green was going to block the other city of red, red manages the tile to get him back the meeple and 8 points in the process. The good news for green is that this was the last starting tile, aka the last starting tile, the last tile that fit over here. So this monastery meeple is gone. Nevertheless, it is red with the meeple advantage, and despite that fact, it is green who spends his last meeple and plays on a 9-point field. Drastic, yet a necessary measure, I believe. 9 points is really a lot. And red gets a meeple back anyway. And also meeples a city with the idea of kind of like creating a big ruin over here. But Bazilyuk now will have a very, very interesting decision. So he does get a tile to get his meeple back, and I was going to say it would be a Sophie's choice whether to get back this one or this one. And he chose to unify the fields to get a 3 versus 1 majority, simply because it will be very difficult for Samuelson to do something about those fields. And the route that the play with the red meeples has chosen is to take this 6-point field, and then maybe his plan is to draw a city tile, preferably this one. It's still in the deck. So Bazilyuk should probably think about going over here. This is exactly what he does. So coin flip for a complete and utter victory. But I think the plan of Samuelson was to draw this tile and put another farmer and then connect both farmers at the same time. But you know, connecting farmers in succession is also an option. Samuelson does win the coin flip, so very good for him. This means that Bazilyuk will not be finishing this monstrosity. It will still yield 10 points at the end of the game. So still a good ruin, but just a ruin. And now red will probably try to equalize the monasteries. He just needs to find the best way to go about this. It could be just to go over here and maybe drop a farmer like this. And it's okay to spend his last meeple because he has a tile to get the meeple back. And anyway, with the last meeple, he's not going to have anything better to do than equalize a field with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cities in it for 27 points. Oh yeah, he obviously chooses a way, way better connection option than the one I was thinking. Mine was a bit greedier by 1 point because he would be adding a city point to himself, but of course that would leave him fewer connection tiles. Bazilyuk can try a fancy move. He can actually go over here with the farmer. Oh, that would be so nasty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that one should be way less nasty than I thought. Like, with a couple more curves remaining, sure, maybe. But, like, you could go over here, and then if red draws a curve, then maybe you draw another curve and try to reconnect like this. But I don't think it works because there are no curves remaining. The only remaining curve void is the tile that fits over here. The right-handed dagger. So I think the main thing that green needs to calculate now is, can he win without the field? And I have a suspicion that the answer to that is probably yes. Let's have a look. He's -2. Because of these monasteries, which are 16, he's -18. Let's say this field is tied. Then red has 2, that's -20. Red has 26. -26 with no further possibility of actually. So -26, potentially -30. Samuelson has, Bazilyuk has 10 here, and 1 here, that's 11. And 7 here, that's 18. He would be at -8. And I don't really see a good way to score 8, so that's why he goes for it. Yeah, that's why he decides that he actually needs the farm points in order to win. Yeah, and I believe now it's going to come down to a coin flip for this tile. And Samuelson gets a simple Dorito, which means that it is Bazilyuk who has the dagger in hand. That will go right over here up top and into the hearts of his fans. I mean, of Samuelson's fans. Yeah, so it all had to come down to this. And seriously, massive credit for Samuelson for choosing the strategy of equalizing the field, even though it looked like an uphill climb. And as a result, it forced Bazilyuk into going into a coin flip from a position of strength, but unfortunately for Samuelson, the tile favored his opponent. So it is 1 Maxim, 0 Anatoly, and we are headed into game 2. Reminder, this is a best of 3 series. Right, several tiles have already been played. Not sure who was the starting player. Actually, we can easily figure that out. So Samuelson should have been the starting player on this one. And it does appear that he got like the best starting tile possible. Yeah, and then we can reconstruct that pretty easily. Then there was this, I believe, then this, then this. Anyway, hardly matters now. What matters is the position, which is roughly equal. A monastery per side, but a very unfortunate draw for Bazilyuk as he's forced to go here, kind of adding a point to Samuelson, which gives Samuelson a chance to go here and even meeple a road and basically take over this road. Some merits has to be given to the option of meepling the city cap and going for the self-invasion. But if you know that your opponent is not going to fight for the city, well, then you don't have to self-invade. You can just build your city on their own. So I would say really, really risky move here by Bazilyuk, not getting in early on that city attack that might cost him dearly. I mean, I can also understand the idea of just wanting to get that early farmer, because even though it's only 3 points, in reality, this field is fantastic. It has an just obscene number of green squares for growth, and it will grow all the way here, taking these squares once these cities are connected. So, for example, what Red might have considered, might even consider dropping a farmer here. And just waiting for one of the 5 Dorito tiles also connecting here. Maybe Red didn't want quite to play with one meeple for too long. Green, in the meantime, finishes one of his monasteries, going to a 13-0 lead on the scoreboard. Samuelson picks off the empty city cap, making the 1-point city cap of Bazilyuk vulnerable. At the same time, it does help out Green's monastery as a side effect. Green with the Dorito tile, shielded Dorito, many good uses, potentially starting a new city over here like this, lip-shaped city, hoping for some sort of this pattern, potentially going over here, trying to chase that city around. This is exactly what happens. He doesn't even bother meepling it, so that's pretty interesting. It could be better that way. Let's see if that pays off. Yeah, I see why he doesn't want to meeple it, because like sometimes what does happen is your opponent gets a Dorito tile. Yeah, and look at this. Samuelson doesn't even bother to go here first. He instead tries to run away with his city over here. But okay, that could work out just fine. That could work out just fine. So now, of course, the plan of Samuelson will be to try and block this square, leaving him with a very nice, something like 12-1 advantage in a mini battle. The reservation that I have against this move is that it could be a bit of a wait until you get this tile back. Well, hardly matters now as he got this tile anyway. Because, so my logic would have been, I would have probably finished this road earlier, simply because if we get this road, which we do, if we just secure this road, then this road is so good that as red, we very often can afford a city invasion. And had red not placed this tile over here, green would have had to invade the city from here, which is actually harder to do given how few triple city tiles there are to do that. And now we have fireworks. Bazilyuk, recognizing that there's no way of saving this connection without actually being extra aggressive. And now he's going to bank on the one remaining cow tile that fits over here to take over this ruin completely. This is why Samuelson is not going to let it happen. He's immediately trying to re-invade this city. But this is exactly what Bazilyuk wanted, because now, even if Samuelson successfully gets this cow tile, of course he's not going to put it over here because this would eliminate all these juicy points that Red had created for himself. But even in that scenario, green can have winning chances due to these fields. Like, geometrically, these fields are very nice. And now green even draws this. And now Samuelson. Okay, let's say, how exactly risky do you want to be? You know what? I know what many of you are thinking. I mean, maybe some of you are thinking, well, don't worry about it. Let's just play small ball. Let's just finish this city, get a meeple back. But no. When you're playing on stream and when you're playing for the gold medal, oh, come on. You have to go over here and try to take over this city. Like, it is a game. And games are meant to be fun. This is like, this is sort of the adult, mature move. But come on, that would have been so nice. But now what's going to happen? He's going to connect over here. And this will leave Bazilyuk a platform to reconnect. Well, Samuelson does get some good stuff going for him. He's going to now drop a farmer. He's got these 8 points, and that's all really nice. But this all pales in comparison to the potential gains of this city over here. Bazilyuk doesn't bother to re-invade. I'm shocked. Samuelson does connect. And Maxim prioritizes the field over the big city. But the big city is worth over 20 points, and it has such chances to get complete. Nobody wants to invade it. Who's going to get the tile to invade it? Parity on this field on the right, whilst the field on the left belongs to Bazilyuk. So advantage Bazilyuk for now, despite this road and this monastery for red. Red needs to get a meeple back in order to try and equalize the 12-point field on the left. Advantage on the scoreboard for Samuelson, so it's getting very, very close. And this big city is still untouched. Sadly, no splitter tiles remaining anymore. You're not going to get to golden opportunities like this a second time. Oh, whoops. I've missed a couple of messages in the chat. For some reason, it wouldn't renew. Hi, Elias. Hi, Horim. Yeah, I see questioning some move which we made earlier. Okay, still no city invasion. Maybe kind of being wary of some blocking opportunities. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. But there's still triple city tiles. It's still... I mean, I know. It is risky. But somebody has to do it. Samuelson with the Dorito tile. Will he go over here, trying to develop this monastery and maybe block the monastery of green? Will he go over here, trying to block some field connections? Because actually at the moment, if all fields get connected, green has 3 farmers and red has 2. And while Samuelson was trying to block, it appears that green draw one of the 2 tiles that fit into that square and not only connected the field but also got a 6-point city just to rub it in. So Samuelson is now going to have difficulties. He either needs to get a meeple back and then equalize the field, or he needs to get some sort of city plus road tile like the starting tile and then go over here and invade. Bazilyuk with the penultimate Dorito with the road. Will he use to invade, or will he just take 4 points? Taking 4 points, leaving the city up for grabs. Okay, Samuelson, you gotta do it, my man. You gotta do it. It doesn't matter how risky that is. Okay, that shit's really risky. Because the thing is, like, when you want to fight for a big city, you actually have to get there early on or just don't do it at all. Because now it is much, much more blockable. So, for example, any starting tile that goes here blocks this completely. Because there are no city plus road tiles like Doritos or triple cities. There are tiles like this. Yeah, so there is one tile like this, and there is one tile like this. So 2 opportunities. So this means that there are multiple blocking tiles. For example, the last starting tile is a blocking tile. And this tile would be a blocking tile as well because it's the last of its kind. So yeah, well, Samuelson created banking his game on that city. But if all fields are combined, will that even be enough? As Bazilyuk finishes all his monasteries, Samuelson has to defend the connection. Surely. But I think he now has to really count tiles carefully, and due to his supreme time management, he has almost full clock. Exactly, Horim. Living without gambling is not real life. And also, like, it's not even gambling, like, it's a calculated risk. It's something that one of the players has to do in order to win, and they're doing it. They're doing it. The move... Well, it's actually interesting how exactly you want to block this. No, it's not interesting. Yeah, I have to do this. Excellent find. And Bazilyuk would have gone over here and blocked, but he still... Samuelson still has one more chance. There's one Dorito that fits into that square. He successfully defends. And this is the last Dorito of any kind, so it's no longer possible to reinvade the city by any means. It will be either Samuelson draws it or not, but it is still not clear if that's going to be enough or not. Let's see how the farms are doing. It has very interesting geometry because red has the majority on the farms for 15 points over here. That's only because the farms have not been connected yet. So this, of course, farm... If everything is connected, this will yield a big advantage for green, but can they even be connected? How many straight roads are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one straight road. So green is banking on that straight road. And he has to. I think his idea is, actually, it's very smart. He's not thinking in terms of tiles or points. He's thinking in terms of win probabilities. And now in order to win, green needs to either connect to the field, in which case he can withstand red drawing this tile, which red didn't, so that's probably going to be GG. Or he can draw this tile, which is what he did, in which case he does not necessarily have to connect the fields, and he can withstand red having this sort of thing. Yeah, so you see, so red now drew the tile, but at the time, to make this move for green's winning probabilities was actually essential. So quite some instructive Carcassonne from Bazilyuk, and I'm afraid this might be a rather short match. As Maxim takes a 6-point field for dessert, and Samuelson, with his recently recovered meeple, will enjoy a 5-point road, but that's about it. Interesting, it will be green with the advantage on the farms, as the farms on the left are worth 15 points, the farm on the right are worth 15 points, they cancel each other out, so 21 points, so 23 extra points is what Samuelson would have gained with the Dorito tile. Which surely would have been enough for him, as he only lost by 14. But here comes the brilliance of Maxim's idea over here. Had red connected over here and gotten plus 24 points, he would have gotten like, so from plus 14, he would have gone to plus 10. Actually, let's change this up. Let's do it properly. Let's go plus 10, yeah? Then, in that case, if green were to draw the straight line, green were to place that straight line over here, and green would make 24 points, because first of all, he would eat up these farm. So this would mean that he would have a 3 versus 2 majority, and he would add 3 extra cities, which were currently his. So that's 15 plus 9, so that's 24. So he would still be at plus 24. So then somehow Samuelson would need to recover his meeple from the road, then draw this, then somehow reconnect to the field. I doubt if there was even enough time to do that. So it was really this move over here, which is a bit counterintuitive, because in the short term, it removed 6 points from green. It was like a -6 move, because instead of having one farm, instead of having 2 farms, green had just 1 farm, and so he didn't score twice for these 2 cities. He just scored once. But it was just about that recognition that this is the move that gave him the highest winning chances, which is exactly how you're supposed to play endgames. Well, anyway, still congratulations to the first ever Ukrainian master Samuelson to have put an impressive fight, and congratulations to Maxim Bazilyuk for winning the entirety of the Ukrainian Carcassonne Online Cup 2024. Hi, Craft Giraffe. You think the curve was a mistake? No, I don't think it was, because look at this, look at this. So, yeah, no, I think it was actually, well, let me think about this. I think it was still necessary, because, yeah, let's do this. So if red connects, it's plus 10 for red overall, because his city is so huge. But then we need to take this into account. So, okay, it's going to be like plus 4 for... Yeah, it's going to be plus 4 for red, actually. Plus 4. So it's still going to be a red. If green draws this tile, green gets +2. Because he equalizes the 9-point field with a 15-point field. And let's say if the curve is not here, right? So he equalizes the 9-point field with a 15-point field, so green is at +2. But in that case, with a different run out of the final tiles, it's maybe possible for Samuelson to just outrun Bazilyuk without doing anything interesting with the field. So, for example, if Samuelson simply gets a quick point tile and scores 4 points, and then just like meeples a 5-point roll in his last move, as he did, then he would probably win +1. So no, I still like Bazilyuk's move. And also, yeah, and the point is, like, if you look from a win probability standpoint, you still need the straight line as green in order to win. You need the like, even in the option that you are suggesting, okay, you would be still like at +4 if you go over here, but you still have to go over here. So if you're going to rely on the straight line, you might as well come with a heavy artillery. And the thing is, maybe there's some other options of like winning without the straight line. So let's say if red gets the straight line, but green is the one that is having the quick points, it is harder to do because -4 and -2 is really not the same. Crafty is saying adding 1 extra point to the big city. No, I still like it, because at that point, it's about win probabilities, right? And you got to ask yourself, what does more for your win probability? Saving 1 point and not blocking your opponent, or giving yourself a good blocking chance? And I think that actually attempting the block, so we're referring to this move over here as red, so attempting the block does more for red's winning probability than, you know, being stingy and not adding 1 point over here. Yeah, so like the endgame thinking just really has to be entirely about win probabilities. Because the thing is, like, earlier on, I talk a lot about stinginess and about greediness and about not adding points to your opponent and not spending too many tiles on blocking unless you're also scoring as a result, and like being extra greedy and so on. But that's because earlier in the game, points are a proxy for win probability. So like if you score more points in the opening, you are more likely to win the game. But in later in the game, especially in the end game, when you have pretty much perfect information about the remaining tiles, then, you know, points and win probabilities are really not the same, and then moves become more and more potentially counterintuitive as you approach the end of the game. Oh, hi, Wise Maze. Yeah, Crafty is saying problem for red is red needed the big city tile, red needed the straight line, red needed the quick points. Well, no, yeah. So red needed the big city tile, the straight line, or the quick points. So red would need, yes, like either the straight line or the quick points. That would have been enough, I think. Wise Maze is saying just the probability to block was low given the tiles available. Weren't there like curves and stuff? I don't quite remember what the tiles were. And wait, let me think about it. Was it actually possible to defend easily? Yeah, the blocking was pretty difficult, but it was a non-zero chance because I don't believe that green could have defended with any single tile. Now, also you're going to have to remind me, was the Monastery of Green, like this Monastery of Green over here, was that already completed or not? Oh no, that's actually irrelevant, never mind. Yeah. Anyway, I still like that move. I mean, it's 1 point. Like you're not gonna lose this game by 1 point in all likelihood. Although normally I tend to be stingy with that kind of move. Like I'm exactly the type of player to not even attempt to block and just try to outrun. And often it works, but sometimes it backfires. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Wise Mace. So 2 curves, 1 T straight crossroad, 1 straight, 1 monastery, 1 Dorito. So in that case... Oh, wait, but a clover was there for sure. Because that's the last tile. Right, this was the last tile that was placed. So, yeah, so the barbed wire crossroads as well. So this means that this move has like the value of this move is that it can force some really uncomfortable decisions. Imagine if red draws a crossroads and red has to choose between going over here and restricting the block, which is also just restricting, it's not even defending, or freeing up his own road. Oh, right. Yeah, CRRR, exactly. Yeah. I just, for some, I just didn't read your message in full. Oh, yeah, okay, so that was indeed a precise tile count. Well, yeah, the T does indeed block. But then again, if you get the T, then you get the benefit of this. Anyway, it would have been nice to really see that like on a simulator, but nobody has made like a really strong Carcassonne AI just yet, so we'll have to speculate. Anyway, like it feels that, you know, that 1 point is not going to influence the win probability enough for a blocking attempt not to be worth it. But it is not always the case. There sometimes are situations where if you go the outrunning route and if you calculate everything, then you know that if you just don't add points to your opponent and your opponent gets every single tile that he needs, you still win by 1 or 2 points, you should totally do it. So yeah. And also we need to remember, like, it's only possible to calculate that much. So we could ask Maxim later, like, if we knew all the remaining tiles or not. And if it's even worth spending the time on trying to, like, calculate precisely which move gives you the better winning probability, or just trying to go with that on intuition. I mean, intuition tells me to attempt to block. But yeah, I would say, like, if you're going to forego the blocking attempt there, then in order to justify that, you kind of have to know your winning route pretty precisely if your opponent connects to the city successfully. Alrighty. That probably should be enough. Now it's 2000 UTC. Thank you so much for watching this fun, spontaneous stream. And in all likelihood, probably, if I come back home in time from an inner city trip, there is going to be a stream of the finals of the Chilean National Championships. Should that be successful, I'm going to announce that on my channel like very shortly before. That's going to be very late in the evening on Sunday. But I'll see you around soon in any case. Make sure to place some meeple on the like button if you liked this video, or if you are rooting for Bazilyuk and like the outcome of this match. Subscribe for more competitive Carcassonne content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon.